We got volume now. My microphone was shut off. Thank you, Western, for pointing that out to me and everybody else who just let me look silly. Thank you to you as well. So let's restart the program and let's restart it nice and live because we got 85 people in here. My microphone is finally working. So, Bayam Raiders just win, baby. So now that I have a microphone and you all can hear me, start hitting us up in these comments. Get it loud, get it live, because we are your number one host for the most Raiders, rumors, news, etc., and more each and every single day. Thank you, Nation, for joining us. And if you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, bell notification, and you don't want to miss anything. So hit that, as well as, give a thumbs up if you're enjoying what you're seeing. I see a lot of my fellow guys in here. Wes is in the house. Mr. Raider Nation is in the house. I got Gerard Pope is in the house. I got Raider Ryan is in the house. Salute to everybody that is here. We're talking about Leonard Williams today, and there is some rumors coming out that there's a few backdoor conversations going on between Tom Telesco, our general manager, and the Seattle Seahawks to bring Leonard Williams to the silver and black. Now, many of us know that Leonard Williams is a big fan of the Raiders. With the news coming out that he may be in a trade negotiation to the Raiders from Seattle, is this a good thing or a bad thing? So we're going to go just over a few stats about Leonard Williams and why I personally am not that high on him. I think he would be a good fit for the Raiders, yes. But is he my number one choice? No, not at all. If he becomes a Raider, will I support him? 100%, because anybody wearing that jersey has my support. But let's look at a few facts about Leonard Williams. He came into the league in 2015. He was drafted, I believe, number 6. We passed on him. We could have had him, but we passed on him and took Amari Cooper at pick number 4. Cooper obviously has not been with the team for quite some time. So Leonard Williams could have been one of those pieces that would have stuck around for quite a long time. And this is why I am so big on picking in the first round defensive tackles and linemen, whether it's defensive end or defensive tackle, because they tend to stick with your team for quite a long time, whereas receivers and running backs, they get washed out a lot faster. So I don't like using first-round draft picks on those guys. But he went to the Jets in 2015. Cool. In 2015, he racked up, 63 tackles, 34 were assisted, and 3 sacks. Not bad for a rookie. 2016 was a better year, 68 tackles, 32 assists, 7 sacks. That's pretty darn good for his position. In 2017, a down year for him, only 47 tackles, 25 assists, and 2 sacks. 2018, further decline, but a few more sacks, 42 tackles, 15 assists, 5 sacks. So sacks went up by a couple. 2019, terrible year. 20 tackles, 12 assists, 0 sacks. 2019, and this is right when he got traded to the Giants, from the Jets to the Giants. His first year with the Giants was terrible. He only had 26 tackles, 13 assists, and 1/2 of a sack. Not even a full sack. But he did rebound quite good in 2020 during the COVID year. He had 57 tackles, 28 assists, and 11.5 sacks. Again, a banner year for him there. But then 2021, he got even more tackles in 81 tackles, 47 assists, but his sacks did drop down a little bit, about half, to 6.5 sacks. 2022, his production started to decline, and it has gotten worse every year. In 2022, he only had 45 tackles, 19 assists, and only 2.5 sacks. In 2023, he only had 21 tackles, 8 assists, and 1.5 sacks. Then he got traded to Seattle. In Seattle, he rebounded a bit, 41 combined tackles, 17 assists, and 4 sacks. Now look, at this point in his career, with the fact that he's not putting on consistent sack pressure to the Raiders, is this a guy that we want to bring in right now? Or should we try and grab somebody who's younger, like a Justin Matabuke, who had a banner year last year. He's on the up and coming. Or Christian Wilkins, another guy who's on an up and coming. Or try and outbid the Chiefs and deplete them by grabbing Chris Jones, who is consistently putting pressure on quarterbacks and getting those sacks. Because in our division, we have a Justin Herbert and a Patrick Mahomes and whoever the Denver Broncos are going to draft, because they're probably drafting a QB. So what we need to do is really get out there and sack the quarterback, put pressure on him. It can't not just be Max Crosby, and it cannot be just Malcolm Kuntz. It has to be more than that, right? We got to get a guy on the interior who can get that pressure. Now, here's my thing. I think that us giving up trade capital for an aged defensive tackle who is, like an ocean. He's just up and down on his pressures and his sacks and his ability to one, stay healthy and one, stay productive, or two, stay productive. Is this a guy that we want to trade away our draft capital for when he's at the tail end of his career, probably, and not going to be super productive coming in? Again, we had this problem. We've brought in these older guys and it hasn't panned out. Look at Chandler Jones. And we've had a history of bringing in these guys at the end of their careers, hoping that somehow they're magically going to get younger, and it just never pans out. So Raider Nation, you let me know down in these comments. What should we do? Should we go and grab Leonard Williams simply because he's a Raiders fan? I say no. I say pass on Leonard Williams. Unless he came over for a fourth round pick or a fifth round pick. I wouldn't give anything more than a late fourth round pick. I really wouldn't even want to give a fourth round pick, to be honest, because you can still find offensive linemen in the fourth round who are going to be right away starters and super productive for you. I would say a fifth round pick at best, if Seattle really wants to get rid of this guy. And then also it depends on his cap and how much it's going to cost us monetarily. With that being said, I would probably just pass on him. Let's go and try and grab Justin Matabuke if he doesn't get franchise tagged, Christian Wilkins if he doesn't get franchise tagged, Chris Jones if he's available. Let's go and grab these guys. The other option out there as well, as far as the free agency goes, is you have like a Jalen Johnson, you have L'Jarius Sneed. All these guys might be available in the free agency that we might be able to snatch up. You have Patrick Queen, who also might be available. And then there's a few other really good linebackers that are going to be possibly out there because their team simply can't afford them. They're not able to make a deal with them. So let's spend our money on that, as well as saving those draft picks to grab some of these young studs coming out of college. And let's build our team through the draft. Now, I understand, Raider Nation, we want to win today. We want to win now. We want to dominate the AFC West right now. And I'm with you. I agree with that. However, we can't just go spending all of our money on a bunch of old retread guys and hoping that somehow that's going to make us a dominant team right off of the bat. There are certain guys out there who are going to make your team immediately better. A Chris Jones is going to make the team immediately better. Dominant defense. Justin Matabuke is going to make your team immediately better. Dominant defense. A young and upcoming guy like Christian Wilkins going to no doubt make you better. So spending your money there, I got no problem with it. We can go ahead and get rocking and rolling with those guys 100%. But if none of those guys are available, cool, no problem. We can go out and try and grab a Patrick Queen linebacker, getting that linebacker core solid. Also making sure that we re-sign Divine Diablo who else is coming up? Amik Robinson, we need to re-sign him. Spillane, we need to re-sign him. I know we had got them under contract for this year, but they're going to be up next year. So we need to get these guys re-signed as well. And then we can just go into the draft, man. There's so much good talent coming out at the defensive tackle position. Also, if the rumors are true that there are negotiations, backdoor negotiations, going on right now. Now, look, I understand that we're not supposed to be having these conversations, but it's the NFL. They have conversations all the time throughout the year. I guarantee it. Um, Maybe Justin Fields is actually coming to the Raiders because the rumors keep heating up that the problem was not between Justin Fields and Luke Getsy. That apparently these two are very close. They have mad respect and love for each other, and Justin Fields coming to the Raiders is actually a possibility that may in fact happen. Now, I would much rather get Jaden Daniels, but that's going to cost an arm and a leg. It's going to be difficult to get that deal done. And there's again, we talked about this, that there are rumors that the Raiders are going after that number 1 pick from Chicago as well. With that being said, if we go all the way up to number 1, do you think that we're going to grab Jaden Daniels at number 1, who is my favorite quarterback coming out and I think has the highest ceiling? Or do you think we're going to go for Caleb Williams, who is the most exciting magician scrambling quarterback in the backfield type of guy that everybody now in the NFL is trying to replicate because of Patrick Mahomes? Let me know down in the comments below, Raider Nation. What do you guys think? I got my boy Eric in the house. Raider D, you are going to address the construction rumors, or should I tell in the chat? Construction rumors? I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. Do not know what you're talking about there. James Johnson, I see you in the house. O-line needs help bad, and we need a veteran DT. I don't want an old veteran, James. I don't want an old one. I want a veteran who is younger. So if we got a guy like Justin Matabuke, who's technically a veteran, then yes, I'm okay with that. Christian Wilkins, I'm okay with that. Chris Jones is going to be 30, but I would be okay with him only because he is the most dominant one out there. My boy Tech in the house, I see you. How are you doing? I hope you are having a great Sunday evening. He says, I don't believe Jones will leave the Chiefs. Justin Matabuke is only 3 years older than or younger than Williams. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like the younger guys because you're going to get more production for them at a longer amount of time. So I'm definitely with them. But only Chris Jones because, again, you're going to get another 3 years of dominant defense out of him. No question, because he is just that good. Then that's only if he's actually going to leave the Raiders. Raider Ryan, let's see. Let me put this up here. Boom. The way Luke Getsy was talking about Fields in his onboard interview was showing him love. I have problems with his accuracy, so I'm not sold. I believe AOC is working his tail off in the offseason. Like I said, it's going to be a competition. AP's made that very clear. He's bringing people in for competition. It's not guaranteed that AOC is not going to be the guy or he is going to be the guy. It's competition. Best man up, right? DeMarcus Webb. Williams is a free agent. Leonard Williams is a free agent? No, he's not. He's under contract with Seattle. So we would have to trade for him. Seattle just traded for him. So I don't think he's a free agent. Can't be a free agent. I like that you know your facts. Much respect. Everybody needs to do their job and work hard. Just win, baby. Well, hey, I don't always get everything right. Sometimes I mess up. On the other night, I was on live, and I had put a poll up on whether or not we should go and get Kirk Cousins. And when I put it on there, I was just voice texting it. And so it spelled out Kurt, Kurt, and rather than KIRT. And it was up there, and it got over, like, I don't know, 300 or 400 votes, and nobody noticed that there is no Kirk Cousins. Nobody even noticed it. Everybody wanted, people were like, yeah, we want him. Okay, that guy doesn't exist. So, yeah, I make mistakes, man. I make mistakes. Everybody's human. Sam, AP isn't the GM. No, Antonio Pierce is not the GM. However, if you, for Bob, if you did watch the onboarding of both AP and Tom Telesco, they both made it very clear that it is a collaboration. Tom Telesco is not a dictator GM, and AP is not a dictator GM. That they will be working in combination together to come up with the best possible scenarios to give us a winning team, which I like that. I like that. That was my issue that I had with good old Chucky, was that he wanted to be the dictator over the personnel and basically be the de facto GM. And I would rather have a coach who has a more collaborative mindset of, hey, I really like this guy for these reasons, but he leaves it to the GM to also make the ultimate decision on how to get that deal done and bring that guy in. And so here's a little story. If you haven't heard, when we went and got Jack Jones, when he was waived off of wires, as soon as AP heard about it, and we all know about the history between Jack Jones and AP, he immediately went up to Champ Kelly and Mark Davis and said, hey, I want this kid on the team. And Champ was a little bit wary. Mark Davis was a little bit wary because he was just let go for character issues. And he was like, okay. So he goes back downstairs. He's like just dedicated. He goes back and he watched a whole bunch of Patriot footage and trying to find out, like, is he got any character issues on the field? What is the problem here between him and Belichick? Why did Belichick let him go? He couldn't find any reason as to why Belichick let him go. An hour later, he runs back upstairs and he tells the Mark Davis and he tells Champ Kelly, listen, I just went through everything. I can't find any reason why he would have a character issue that would be detrimental to the team. We got to bring him in. This is why. And they're like, okay, we trust your decision. And they brought Jack Jones in. Well, we all know how that turned out. A couple good pick sixes and a whole bunch of pressure on wide receivers and just a standout star on our defense. That's how AP is. So he's not going to be a dictator running in there saying, you got to draft this guy. You got to get this guy in free agent. He's going to run up there and he's going to say, listen, I want this guy and here's why. It's not, you're going to do what I say because I'm the de facto GM. So it's a very collaborative back and forth type of situation. And that's exactly the way Telesco and him are working together, according to both of them, because I've heard both of them as well as on their onboarding, but also on podcasts. I've heard both of them say the same thing, that they have already set it up to where it's a collaboration. They're going to rely on each other. And it's an open door policy. Check those egos at the door. It is about the shield. At the end of the day, it is about the shield, the ego. So I love that about our leadership team with the Raiders and what we got building up right now. All right, so we got Sam, the Stanford fan, in the house. Cut Brian Hoyer and AOC. They're just taking up roster spots. I disagree with that. First of all, you wouldn't cut AOC because he is a fantastic backup, if nothing else. If he's not a starter, he is definitely a guy who can get in there and win you games if the face of the franchise goes down. Hoyer, it makes no sense to cut him either because you have to have a veteran, back there, a good steady hand to help the young guys. And if you cut him, we don't actually save any money. We just take a little cap hit. He may just end up retiring, though, because he's going to be like 38. But he might just stay on for one last year with that clipboard. I think Hoyer's going to end up becoming a coach at some point because if you look at his entire history, he's always been the guy helping the younger guys out. So I think he'd make a good quarterbacks coach. Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, once a Raider, always a Raider. Well, man, you got to watch my video that I just put out, and it has Jerry Rice and his son on the cover. Go watch that video. Go watch that video. Not right now, but after this, go watch that video. Raider Ryan, 177 people in the house. Ooh, I didn't even see that. Nice. Show some support for your boy Raider D and subscribe, or at the very least, hit that thumbs up. Nation. I agree with that 1,000%. Thank you, my man. Raider Ryan, always supporting and always in the house. Why did my phone just shut off? Okay, there we go. And then pull this up. There we go. All right. Yeah, nation. So I think, there's a lot that we gotta go over in the off season. I'm excited. We're getting closer and closer to the wheeling and the dealing with the free agency. There's so many things that could happen. I just don't really want us to make the mistake of grabbing retread guys. I don't want Kirk Cousins coming to the Raiders. If Kirk Cousins had not tore his Achilles, I would be okay with it if there's a plan to get that young face of the franchise QB in the draft as well. But I don't want to rely on a 35-year-old who's coming off an Achilles tear after week 9. I don't want to rely on that because he's not going to be ready for any of camp whatsoever. It's a Jimmy G situation all over again and more expensive because he wants a minimum of $30 million a year and a $90+ million guarantee. That's a lot of cap space for us to be spending on a guy who may or may not even be able to make it through a season, definitely going to miss all of camp, probably preseason, and may not even be ready for week 1. He might not even be ready until week 3 or 4, and he may not be ready at all because with these Achilles tears, sometimes it just doesn't ever heal back to the way that it should have. So I don't want retread guys. This is why I'm against Williams. Williams' career has been very up and down. He's flashed brilliance, and then at other times, it's been injuries and non-production issues with him. I would much rather get younger. I would rather go, if possible, Matabuke, again, if he's available, or Christian Wilkins, if he's available in the free agency. If not, and if the rumors are true that we are in a possible hunt for Justin Fields to come to the Raiders, then at that point, what I would love to do is stay at pick 13, maybe move back to 18, but it depends on who's available at 13. But I'm telling you right now, if Jerzon Newton is available at 13, if 12 teams ahead of us were dumb enough not to pull this dude onto their team, that's the guy that the Raiders got to go and grab. This dude could be a boxer. He has violent hands. He is probably going to be one of the most pass rushing monsters at defensive tackle in the NFL because he is a wrecking ball. You can't stop this dude. His burst off the line is insane. He's out of his stance almost like a half a second to a full second before guards. Now, granted, this is going against guards in college and not in the NFL, so we'll see how that translates in the NFL. But I'm telling you, Jerzon Newton is going to be a game-changer type of dude that you would definitely take a 13th overall draft pick on. If not, then I would say that we go ahead, we trade back to like 18, 19, see if we can get a early second-round draft pick out of moving back, and then we pick up a right tackle, either a J.C. Latham, a Marius Mims, or the guy that I really want, which is Fuaga, because he's a true right tackle, just a mauler out there laying people on their back. So that would be a lot of fun. Let me throw some love to my boy Raider Ryan in the house. Working nights on the waterfront, raining sideways, but in my car working hard, hanging with the nation. Thank you for helping the night go by. Man, salute to you, Raider Ryan, man. Salute to you. And stay safe out there. Hopefully you don't get wet out there in that rain, man. That is awesome. See, Raider Nation, we are some hard-working blue-collar people. I'll tell you what. Sam, the Sanford man, Colin Kaepernick wants a Raider, always a Raider, just because he had a workout with us. No, I disagree with that. He is not a Raider. Colin Kaepernick is not a Raider. But we got Colin Kaepernick in the house. What's up, Colin? How you doing? Still rocking your 49ers shirt there, I see. It's been a while since you've been on the 49ers or in the NFL. Hot Beaver says, salute to the hard-working nation. Raiders. Just win, baby. That is what the Raiders do. 100%. Okay, El Cheeto. Raider Nation in the house. Big fan of the man, Brian Murphy, out of Texas. Look, I'm big on him too, right? And if you guys see my defensive tackle breakdown in the draft, here's the thing that I'm worried about Murphy. And that's the fact that he had T'Vondre Sweat next to him. T'Vondre Sweat is a mountain of a man who takes double teams on almost every snap, which allows Byron Murphy to go out there and pressure the quarterback and get those sacks. What happens if he has to do that by himself? There's no doubt he is a very good athlete. I agree with that 100%. But the reason why I'm higher on Newton is simply because Johnny Newton he was not, out of Illinois, he was not on a dominant team, but he was dominant by himself. Does that make sense? Right? Whereas with Murphy, he had a lot of help on that defensive line, particularly with T'Vondre Sweat, who I would also love to see in the silver and black at a true nose tackle. I would love to see that. I would love to see, because T'Vondre Sweat's going to probably fall somewhere in the second to third round. He's not a first round guy because let's face it, true nose tackles are kind of fading out in the NFL, and they're going for those more athletic quarterback pressuring guys because that's the way that the NFL is today. So with that being said, I would still like to see him 100%. But Colin Kaepernick's in here talking smack, man. All right, Colin. Well, we all know that you're actually a troll. It's not the real Colin Kaepernick. But I did see Cam Newton get jumped. I seen that video. And he was handling them dudes like by himself. Cam Newton's a beast, dude. Way more than you ever were. I'd take Cam Newton over Colin Kaepernick all day, every day. I'd have loved Cam Newton in the silver and black. He would have done great. Mr. Ryan Johnson in the house. Salute to you, my nation brother. El Cheeto. All right, so he says, I have a feeling that Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy are going to have good combine pro day. Their value will rise. Same reason I think if we want Daniels, we need the first pick. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Now, I put out a scenario on how the Raiders could get Jaden Daniels at pick 3 if everything played out the way that scenario plays out. But it's a risk. It's a risk if you make the trade for pick number 3 with the Patriots and Jaden Daniels gets pulled off the board pick number 2 or pick number 1. I don't see him being pick number 1. It's going to be Caleb Williams. We all know that. Any GM who has the number 1 pick and does not take Caleb Williams probably won't be a GM for very long because the ownership would probably flip out, right? At the end of the day, the GM has to answer to whoever the owner is. And you cannot pass on an electrifying type of a player, a once in a generation guy like Caleb Williams. You know, like when you're thinking generational player, you think of a guy like Caleb Williams. Who you don't think of is a Colin Kaepernick, right? He's like a generational player who is like the anti-generation. He's trolling my live, so I'm gonna make fun of him because it's not even the real Colin Kaepernick. I already know it's the same dude. The same dude. He just makes different profiles, and then he comes and trolls all of my podcasts. Yeah, Colin, 100%. For sure, I would take Cam over you. I would take Cam over you all day. Not even a second thought. You were never a good quarterback, ever. You should have went and played baseball. I think you would have been done better there. Nah, you don't have a right to play again. You're washed up and done. You'd rather make documentaries than play football. You couldn't take anybody to the Super Bowl. You were washed up before your career got washed up, man. Not even close. You're not even in the realm of a generational player. You might be in the realm of like a generational YouTuber or something, but you're not a generational player, Colin. Sorry, my man, to the fake Colin Kaepernick who is trolling us right now, everybody. Get those likes up. You know what I'm saying? Smash that like button. Give a little bit of love to the Raider D podcast. Got my boy Michael in the house. Get this troll out of here. I mean, look, here's the way that you guys can get rid of the trolls. All right. And that is spam those comments. Spam those comments right now. Colin Kaepernick going to be coaching on the Chargers next season. I love that. Let's put Colin Kaepernick in charge of the Los Angeles Chargers, a.k.a. San Diego Boltheads. Let's put him in charge. Because, I mean, I don't know. Their coach that they got over there right now, he's kind of crazy. I don't know how long he'll last before he, like, snaps. Like, Jim Harbaugh is, he's like the weird, erotic one of his family. John's like the blue-collar, gotta go to work. And then Jim's like the guy that's in the back shed, like sharpening a machete or something. It's just weird. He's got a strange personality. Let's see. What's Colin got to say now? I'm not trolling you, bro. Just pull up my stats. It's 10 times better than Mr. AOC, who can't throw. Oh, okay. Your stats, bro. Look, Colin, your stats were like from 50 years ago, man. Nobody cares anymore. Just saying. Let's get them likes up. Let's rock and roll. So who do you guys like for quarterback in the draft? If you want Jaden Daniels, spam JD in the comments right now. If you want Colin Kaepernick to come to the Raiders, no, don't spam anything about it. If you want, for real though, but if you want Jaden Daniels, spam JD in those comments right now. But if you want to go for the Magician 2.0 and Caleb Williams, then put CW in there. Spam CW if you want Caleb Williams, and spam JD if you want Jaden Daniels. Jeffrey in the house. Raider Nation. Raiders for life in the house wants JD. We got Todd 0864 spamming in the AOC, showing some love to my boy Fat Farva. And Ryan wants that JD, man. So we're a little bit split. Mostly everybody's saying JD though. Nobody wants Colin Kaepernick. I'm sorry. Sorry, Cap. But I call Cap on the cap because I think you're capping because you're not the real Colin Kaepernick. I mean, who knows? You might be. You might be the real Colin Kaepernick. But I get you know why it's easy to tell that it's a spammer. It's not the real Colin Kaepernick because he look at his profile picture. His profile picture is from like 15 or 17 years ago, whenever it was when he last played for the 49ers. But Colin Kaepernick, the real Colin Kaepernick, hates the 49ers because they let him go. So the real Colin Kaepernick would not pull an old Google image of Colin Kaepernick from his rookie year and use that for his YouTube profile. All right, Jeffrey says JD. Michael says JD. Raider 8 says crap. Ashton says, what's your opinion on Devontae Walker? I think if he gets in the correct situation that gives him opportunities, could be a top 2 receiver in this draft, maybe in the NFL. With Devontae, I don't have a whole lot of info on him. Now, I did just release my wide receivers draft of my top guys. He didn't make it on my board, but there's a lot of good receivers. I will go and take a look at him, but I'm going to tell you straight up, I haven't taken too much of a look at him right now, but I'll go check him out since you brought it up, Ashton, for sure. I'll tell you one thing that I am excited about in if it happens, and that's Brendan Rice, who's Jerry Rice's son. He's not getting all the hype that Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., he's not getting all that hype. So he could be available possibly in that second round. I don't think he's going to go in the first round. Trust me, his numbers may not have been as big as the other guys, but he is at least 85% of what his dad was, and that's good enough for me because his dad was unstoppable. His dad was a beast. So if we get a Brendan Rice in the second round, if he's there at pick 44, I hope the Raiders take him. I really do. I really hope the Raiders take him. Now, some analysts even have Brendan Rice falling all the way to the third round. The kid is phenomenal. He's not perfect, but he is going to be a phenomenal wide receiver in the NFL. Ashton says, man's going to be a Devontae 2.0, trust me. Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at him. Matter of fact, let's look him up right now, Nation. Let's see. Because I don't have a whole lot. I've seen his name. I've seen him on draft boards. I have not looked at him, to be 100% honest with you. So let's take a look at Devontae right now. Make sure I spell his name right. Let's check him out. Okay, he's 22 years old. Let's check out his stats. All right, Devontae Walker. 2023 season, he has 41 receptions, 699 yards, 17 touchdowns with an average of 17 yards per catch. That's pretty big, actually. Now, his production did go down. So in 2020, did he get hurt or something? In 2022, he had 58 catches for 921 yards, an average of 15.9 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So his production dropped off in his third year. Don't know if he suffered any injuries or anything like that. But, I mean, interesting how tall. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, so he's lanky. He's got the length, which is good. I'll have to dive deeper into him than just basic stats, but I've seen his name on the draft board in the third and fourth round. So it's a possibility. There's a possibility. I don't know what his speed is. We'll check him out if he's at the combine. I'm pretty sure he'll be at the combine. I know they've invited a lot of people to the combine. So we'll check him out. Okay, so Raider for Life has JD, so it looks like everybody wants JD. Jaden Daniels to the Raiders. Man, that would be exciting. That would be exciting. I mean, basically, if we go up and we get Jaden Daniels Nation, the only thing is that we have to prepare for is that we're going to have to feed on the free agency for the next 3 years, because we're not going to get any top tier talent. Now, we can find some gems probably in the third round, because we should have third round draft picks, but we're not going to have any first or second round draft picks whatsoever for 3 years if we get Jaden Daniels. So my hope is that if we do that, JD5 better pan out. He better pan out. He better not flame out like a Colin Kaepernick or something, right? He better pan out 100%. Raider Nation for Life says, Raider D, gotta say, been watching your content last couple weeks, and I appreciate it, bro. Keep this shit coming. Thank you, my man. Salute. I appreciate it. It's comments like that make me just keep driving every single day. Super, super, super appreciated. You guys are awesome. The nation is awesome. I love it. And I'm excited. For the first time in a long time, I'm 100% excited for 2024, for football, for the Raiders, because for so long we've just been in this slump of mediocre Colin Kaepernick type of world. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep banging on Colin Kaepernick for spamming up in here. Western Conference in the house. Got my boy Western Conference, man. He is up and coming. He's another creator for the Raider Nation. So if you guys have not checked out his channel, please go and hit him up. Give him a subscribe as well, because he's putting out some really good analysis. In fact, I got to give you credit, Wes, is because I seen your video about Leonard Williams in the back chatter of a possible trade for him coming to the Raiders. So it was actually your video that hit me to what we're talking about right now. So much love for that breaking news and everything that you're also doing, getting out all that good content. Western Conference in the house. Guys, go and give him a sub. Go ahead and just click on his profile, go over there and hit him up, because he is 100% just on it every single day, dropping good content. Let me throw in here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, guys. Now, I'm going to drop this in here. So, we are coming out with our newsletter, and we are putting a website together for the Raider Nation, so you guys can stay up to date on everything that is happening with your Las Vegas Raiders. Go ahead and send us an email over at raiderdpodcast@gmail.com and request to get put on that newsletter. You have our assurances that we will never sell your information to any advertisers. The only emails that you'll be getting once you send that is only from the Raider D Podcast and the Raider D family. So if you guys want to jump on that, go ahead and send over your emails today so that you do not miss out. It's 100% free, and we're going to have lots of juicy details in that for you. So I'll go ahead and leave that up on the board for now so you guys can see that. That is the RaiderDPodcast@gmail.com. Also, any sponsors that would like to get your name out for your company, also send us an email at RaiderDPodcast@gmail.com, as we are now starting to open up shop for sponsorships. Put that back on there. And you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already subscribed, and get in those comments. Get in those comments and let me know, what are you guys feeling and how is everything going? Justin Brown in the house with a nice Raiders. Yes, sir. All day, every day. Just win, baby. Just win, baby. Boom. I'm going to throw you up on the board for that one. Got to throw up that one. The big war cry. All right. Lupe in the house. Well, we know how rookies are sometimes, do not pan out. We need to add to the team for what we need. Raiders have won hand-me-downs. That's what made us great show. Yeah, rookies sometimes don't pan out. Rookies sometimes don't pan out. The same thing also happens with free agents too. Sometimes they don't pan out. Look at Chandler Jones, just a perfect example. And how many washed up corners have we brought in and they didn't pan out, right? So I think it's a good mix of both, and you just have to be smart about it. This is the thing I love, man. AP just has an understanding for talent and people who are hungry, right? He sees that, he knows that, he understands that, and those are the guys that he's trying to get in the house. The other thing is Tom Telesco is also a very good scout of talent. He started his career as an NFL scout. He was a part of getting Peyton Manning to the Colts, right? He was on that scouting department. He was a big part of him coming to the Colts. So he's been through the trenches as a scout, and he understands talent. He has a good history of scouting people and drafting in the first and the second round. So I think between Tom Telesco and AP, between the free agency and the draft, we're going to have a really good mix. I just don't want us to go out and spend a bunch of money on people in the free agency who are just not going to drive hard. They're not trying to be the greatest Raider in the history like a Max Crosby. Those are the guys that we need, and I think that you're going to find most of those guys in the draft. Now, with that, it also means that you have to develop these guys. Look at Malcolm Kuntz. It's taken him a couple of years for him to get to the point where he finally had a breakout year. Of course, he also had to get to that point where he got a chance to have that breakout year because we went and drafted a guy in the first round who simply couldn't even get off of his snap in Tyree Wilson. So once it became clear that Tyree was not the answer, or Tyree's going to simply just need some more time to develop because he's not ready, then Malcolm got his chance. And when Malcolm got his chance, he took full advantage of it because that boy was impressive in the second half of the year. Larry Dean in the house says, does anybody know how many compensatory picks, extra picks in the draft that the Raiders have? I don't know that we have any. I think we have, I'll have to go look again because now I forget. I think we have a total of, I think we just have the 7. Let me look that up for you real quick, Larry. Let's check it out. Let's find out. I think we have 7 in this draft, but we may have one extra. How many picks do the Raiders have in the 2024 NFL draft? Okay, so it says we have a total of 9 picks, so we have 2 additional picks to work with. We have 3 picks in round 7, so they're not great. So our additional picks are in round 7. Round 7, yeah, you're looking at, irrelevant guys that you hope that at the very least, can make the practice squad. So the 7th round picks aren't going to be very good. Jeffrey says, with the new video format, I can't like the video. Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it. It's the new video format that's been released by YouTube. Hopefully they'll add that in there. So we're doing a mix. We're doing the horizontal format and the vertical format. Just kind of checking both of them out. I know you can like it after we end the live. So if you go back in after, Jeff, and then you can just like it at that point. Oh, did you figure it out? Because I don't even see it. Like, I got it on my phone right now, and I don't see a like button anywhere. It's got a little heart. Raider D, do you think it will make things difficult for Getsy to start getting a game plan going without knowing who will be the QB or what pieces will be working with? Raiders. I mean, yeah, optimally, you would like to know who your QB is going to be, right? That way you can game plan around them. But I think that no matter who it is, if you're a good offensive coordinator, you're going to be able to adjust pretty quickly. And you have to be able to do that. Larry says, hit 3 buttons to like the video. Oh. Yeah, man. No wonder we don't, because we get thousands of people who watch this live in the vertical format, but we'll only have like 20 likes. So, guys, you got to hit the 3 little buttons right here. And if you hit the 3 little buttons, it'll pull up the like button. That's how you like the live. That's so stupid that YouTube's done it that way. But hey, I guess whatever works, right? And then if you guys want to see the description is down there as well. Oh, guys, I got to tell you, look, if you are any type of a content creator whatsoever, or you just make family videos, stuff like that, I got a little secret weapon. So I spend an awful lot of time on my main videos that I make for you guys that has all the cool little graphics and the sounds. I mean, I spend like 12 to 14 hours on it. I don't have time to put that much effort into doing the same thing for my shorts videos from my long form content. So I use an AI editor that goes through and analyzes all my long form content, and it then cuts it out, edits it for me, 10 of them at a time, and then I can post those at free. It only takes me a few seconds to hit the button. A couple minutes later, it spits out all these edited videos that are ready to post, and that's how I post all my shorts videos. So if you guys want to go check that out, if you make any type of long form content at all, and you want to make shorts super easy with AI, the link is down in the description. It is my secret weapon. Guys, go ahead and hit that up. You got to hit the 3 little buttons up on the upper left-hand corner in order to get to the description. It's down on the bottom. Hit that link. Check it out. Works for me. It's pretty good. Like I always say, man, if it's not something that I like or believe in, or if I don't think it's a good thing, I won't share it with the nation. I'll only share with you guys stuff that I think is actually going to be beneficial. Juan says, what's up, Raider Nation? Yes, sir. Guys, if you have not subscribed yet, you got to hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification because you don't want to miss. Anytime we have breaking news, I immediately come and get you a video out right away, whether it's through a short form, whether it's going live, or whether or not, depending on the topic, I might even make a longer form video for you guys to enjoy. So breaking news, anytime we're going live, hit that bell notification so that you guys do not miss out on those. Lupe, I really like Farva. Hope he's as good in the whole season. I mean, if he gets a shot, right? I mean, AP said it's a competition. And one thing that he has praised AOC for is he is a fighter, and he's not going to go down without a fight. He's going to fight for that QB1 spot. And you love to see it. You also love the fact that, Coach praised him by calling him a nerd, the biggest nerd on the team. And that's something that you want to hear about your quarterback. You want to hear that they're a nerd, that they're in there studying the book all the time, and they're always asking questions, and they're always trying to get better. You don't want a quarterback who doesn't care, doesn't study, doesn't watch film, all that stuff. You want a guy who's driving. And the thing about Aiden O'Connell, he may not be a genetically gifted, athletic freak out there on the field, but he is probably the hardest working young quarterback out there right now, trying to win that QB1 spot, because that's been his entire collegiate career. He's had to work his way to become QB1 at Purdue. And now he's having to work his way to earn that full-time title as QB1 with the Raiders. And as Coach AP said, look, we're going to drive hard in the draft to get a face of the franchise quarterback. But if that doesn't happen, we'll look and see what we have in the free agency. And worst case scenario, we got Aiden O'Connell. Like, that's worst case scenario. We're in a really good position, Nation, because I believe that if Aiden O'Connell is given the chance to be QB1, he has a potential to be a really good quarterback in the NFL. He needs to get quicker with his release, going through his progressions and his reads. But man, I tell you what, that kid has shown a lot of heart and a lot of potential that he could be for real. He could be for real a QB1. In fact, on quite a few teams right now, we could probably trade AOC for a second-round pick. Remember, he was a fourth-round pick out of Purdue. We could literally probably trade him right now to the Atlanta Falcons if the Justin Fields things doesn't work out with them. Let's say we got a Justin Fields here. We could literally probably tell Atlanta, hey, we'll give you AOC for a second-round pick. And they would take him. They would take him in a heartbeat. 100%. After the way he finished that season, he's worth a second-round pick right now. Now, whether or not his stock would be that next year if he got the shot here, who knows? Larry says, I really, really like Jay Daniels, but his size worries me. He seems to like contact. I'm very worried it could end up like Pat White. I want AOC in the locker room to compete. Anthony Richardson's a perfect example, right? You got to teach these mobile quarterbacks, get out of bounds or slide. My goodness, you are not a linebacker. Slide. You're the face of the franchise. This was the whole issue with Michael Vick back in the day. Like, it used to drive his coach crazy how he would take hits. I mean, eventually he learned after, his stint of doing some time. When he came back to the NFL, he tried to learn a little bit. But, yeah, if you're the face of the franchise, you got to understand that you cannot be taking hits. Now, with that being said, Jaden Daniels has been in college for 5 years. He's been taking hits for 5 years, and he's not broke, right? So I think durability-wise, he's a tough kid. I think that, going into the NFL, you got to take care of yourself. Your team is depending on you. And it's great that you can break off a 60-yard touchdown run. That's fantastic. It's exciting. But if you're running into traffic, you've already, you're 10 yards past the first down marker. Just slide. Just get down. We got running backs to do that job. Let our receivers do that job. You know what I mean? And we're good. So I agree with you. It doesn't even matter their size. Anthony Richardson's, more muscular than him, and he got taken out for, the rest of their season, right? Which is why Minshew had to come in and take over. Bryce Young, all these guys, it doesn't matter how big you are. I mean, unless you're like Cam Newton size, then you got to get down. You got to take care of yourself. And you got to think about the team, right? Because if you break a leg, I mean, look at us with the Raiders and Derek Carr in 2016. And he wasn't even mobile. He was more mobile than AOC, but he was just in the pocket in a game that he shouldn't even been playing in. The game was already over. I don't even know why coach still had him in there. But he was in the hunt for MVP of the year. It was the best year of his career. I mean, he was just on fire. The Raiders were going to the playoffs to play Houston. Our game was won. He's in the game when he shouldn't have been. Gets his leg snapped. So that can happen at any time. He wasn't even running out of the pocket or nothing. That can happen at any time. It just happens. But you want to try and mitigate it, especially when you're a mobile quarterback. Just don't get a concussion, particularly now because they're so on it when it comes to the concussion protocol. You may not even have a concussion, but if they think you do, you're out for at least a week, maybe 2. And that could be the difference between us making the playoffs, winning a division or not. But I think it's a really good thing that even if we even if we get Jaden Daniels, I think you hold on to AOC, even though, yes, we could probably get at the very least a third round pick for him, probably a second round pick to some desperate teams. I think you hold on to AOC because if your quarterback goes down, AOC is a guy who can still get you to the playoffs with a defense like we're going to have in 2024. So that's why I'm super excited about it. And I really like the fact that we have AOC. He's on a cheap rookie contract. Cheap. He's a fourth round pick. He's not getting first round money. So it doesn't even cost us anything to keep him on the squad. And the fact that he can come in and win games, I mean, his last 4 games, he threw 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's starter level QB right there. Maybe not a superstar, but that's starting level on many teams right now. Yeah, Ryan, I agree. There's no reason to get rid of AOC. The only thing that I would say is, okay, let's just pretend that we're getting JD. We're getting Jaden Daniels. And there's some way that whoever we're trading to, let's say the Patriots, right? Let's say we're trading to the Patriots and the Patriots are like, we're really big on AOC. You give us AOC and 2 first-round draft picks and maybe 1 second and throw in AOC and we'll give you this third-round pick. And Jaden's still sitting there at pick 3. We make the swap. Boom, 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 bada bing. AOC goes to the Patriots. JD comes to the Raiders. In that case, I'm all for it. I'm all for it at that case. Now, what would be sad is if AOC turns into Tom Brady 2.0 and wins 7 Super Bowls and Jaden Daniels, turns into a bust. That would just be the luck of the Raiders right there, man. That would be wild. But I love AOC, but I don't think he's going to be the next Tom Brady. Larry Dean says, like Coach said, we are not going to win the game because of AOC, but we sure are not going to lose any because of AOC. And I will say, like, the San Diego game is a perfect example. The kid was on fire. 4 touchdowns, no picks, had a QB rating of like 120 or something. So he's flashed. He has flashed that he could win you games. Like when you need him, he could win you games. Now, granted, the defense was lighting him up too. And so because of the way that the defense was playing, I mean, we added 14 additional points from, just a fumble, recovery, touchdown, and then the pick 6 by Jack Jones. So with that, I would say, yeah, I would say he could definitely take over a game as well. But he's a rookie, and rookies are inconsistent usually at the beginning of their career. It takes them a little bit of time to really put everything together. But who knows what he's going to be in the long term. What I do know is this. We've got 130 people in the house. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the Raider D podcast and you love the Raider Nation, or you just love football, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and hit that thumbs up, which you have to do on this format, which is so dumb that they do this. You have to go way over here and hit these 3 little buttons in order to get to the thumbs up, the like button. I don't know why YouTube has made it like that. I think that's very silly, and I really hope that at some point they change that. So Jeffrey says, me and Daniel's number 1, Daniel's number 2. I think Drake May is at pick number 3. Yeah, I'm not big on Drake May at all. I think Drake May has all the hype like Sam Darnold did in a Baker Mayfield. I think he could turn out very easily to be just either one of those guys, or he could turn out to be the next Josh Allen. Who knows? But I'm not super sold on Drake May. I am sold on, if out of all the quarterbacks that are coming out of the draft, I will say right now, Caleb Williams, as long as the drama that follows him with his family does not interfere with his career and he doesn't become a drama issue in a locker room, Caleb Williams is going to be a superstar. He's just too athletically gifted not to be. And Jaden Daniels is the next Lamar Jackson. Superstar. MVP of the league. I'll say that right now. I can't say that about Drake May. Drake May is not anywhere near as athletically gifted as either of those two guys, and neither is anybody else that's on the board in the QB realm. Now there could be a gem that pops up and becomes somebody super good, but I think out of the draft in 2024, there are two pretty much sure shots for superstardom, and that's Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. We got Cool Guy 997. This has got to be one of the coolest Chiefs fans I've ever come across. I'm going to throw you up on the board. I normally don't do this with Chiefs fans, but I'm going to throw you up on the board because this is actually really cool. It says, yo, Chiefs fans here. I believe y'all will be an awesome team in the future. Keep believing you'll be there one day. It took us a while to get there. Wishing Raiders fans the best. Well, I wish Chiefs fans the best. I don't wish Chiefs the best. I have to be honest, I hate your team. I hate everything about your team. Your coach is a class act, though. I'll give your coach that. He is a class act. He's a very classy guy, brilliant guy. Got no disrespect to your coach, but I cannot stand your quarterback. Every time I hear his voice, it's just like scratching nails across a blackboard. And your tight end, I just want to see our Max Crosby just take his helmet off. And I can't stand him. Cannot stand him. But at the end of the day, man, football is one of those things where we can hate each other's teams, but we should never hate each other as people. And definitely should be no violence or anything like that at football games at all, anytime. Because football should be a uniter, right? It's a way for us as grown men to kind of get that dark monster, violent thing that's within men out in a peaceful, civilized way, right? That's why I love football. It's a civilized exercise of the demons within men. You know what I mean? But yeah. Hot Beavers. Yeah, we need more fans who are, again, we can hate each other's teams all day long. But between people, no hate. I mean, except for Colin Kaepernick. Can't stand that guy. Colin Kaepernick. He should have stayed a 49er. He fits in San Francisco. Mason Blue Raider. He may not have the passing numbers, but JJ is just as athletic as Caleb, and Jaden is capable of running a 4.4. Well, that is Mason. That is the rumor that JJ can run a 4.4. Now we're gonna find out in the Columbine if that's true. Because right now there's no hardcore evidence of it. It's just a rumor, right? So let's see what happens. At that combine. If the kid does actually run a 4.4, I'll be like, I'll have a different take on him. I cannot say that he's just as athletic as Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels from the game tape that I've seen. There's a different level with both of those guys that just stands above the rest. And I get that, and this is my issue. Me and Hot Beavers, we go back and forth. He loves him some J.J. McCarthy. I'm not sold on him. We go back and forth on this all the time. And we do have a special guest, so guys, make sure tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we do have a special guest going to be on the live with us. And it is Hot Beavers. Hot Beavers should be on with us tomorrow, and we're going to have us a little debate because I think it's going to be interesting. We have a different opinion on a couple of things, and We're gonna hash it out on live TV for all of your viewing pleasures. All right, Raider Nation, that's it for tonight's live. Much respect to everybody being here. Much love to everybody being here. Remember, at the end of the day, take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Be good to one another. Take care of your neighbors. You know, give a few bucks to a homeless person if you see him. Whatever it is, we got to take care of each other because united, we stand. Divided, we fall. Raider Nation, much love to you from the Raider D podcast. You know how we end this each and every single night, and that is Raiders just